Hello and welcome back to ID Boxing with me, your host, Rob Tebbutt. Delighted to be joined in ID Studios today. Got to get the ID Studios plug in by none other than the British, the Commonwealth, the European light heavyweight champion. It's Super Dan Azeez. Dan, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, got to get the
brilliant intro. Yeah,
you like that? It only took us 3 times, but
no, thank you. Thanks for having me in. You just told me I'm like one of the first to come on the segment, so I feel privileged.
You are the first fighter that we've had in here, and we're not actually sure. I'm glad you referred to it as the segment because we don't know what it's going to be called yet. So if anybody watching, we kind of talked about Tebbutt Talks Boxing.
I like that.
Dan likes it. I'm not massively
TTB.
keen. TTB.
Yeah.
But I don't, if you've got any other, keep them clean. I'm sure people have got plenty of names for me, but try and keep it somewhat clean and pop in the comment section. Tell us what we're going to do. But anyway, Dan.
Yes.
How are you? It's been a long time since we've done really an interview.
Yeah. Do you remember our last interview?
Our last interview? Was it at the Peacock?
Yeah. Look how long ago that was, because I ain't trained at the Peacock in a long time.
That was at the Peacock, and that was before you'd won an area title. Yeah. It was before the Charlie Duffield fight.
So that's 2019. Yeah, no, probably 2018 actually.
Before then, yeah.
Exactly. So you've seen the come up. You've been there from, the ground up. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's nice to see you doing so well. What I last time I interviewed him, and then kind of now I only interview British titles above. So I had to wait for Dan to win some titles to make it worth our while.
To come back,
No, but I mean, I'll go straight into it. It's one of the things that I wanted to talk about, really. It's there's always that saying, isn't there, where somebody says, it took me 10 years to become an overnight success.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I feel about your career now. You're doing very well. Yeah. You just boxed recently on Sky Sports. You've got all of your hardware here. I don't know if can we see all the hardware? We got the Commonwealth. Yeah, all good. Yeah. The British, the European, and the Commonwealth title. You're there, Dan. Yeah. You're there now. I mean, if you can, kind of describe your feelings at the minute before we kind of go back over old ground.
I feel good. I'm happy, because obviously, like you said, it's taken a while. But actually, in retrospect, compared to other people, it's not really that long, because I basically started in 2018, beginning of 2018. What are we, beginning of 2023? So what's that, 4 years?
5 years.
5 years. So, yeah, it's taken about 5 years to get to where I am. I still feel like I've got more that I'm trying to achieve. So, but what I'm happy about is I'm just on the right trajectory,
I think because time's such a funny thing, particularly in boxing, 5 years can either be a long time or a short time. I think for you, because it feels like a longer time because you've done area level, English level, British, so you've gone through all of them, you've taken real fights along the way. So, with respect to everybody has a different journey and a different route and stuff. You've not had 5 years, but after 2 years you were fast tracked, and then boxing made a really good point the other day after, of course, winning the European title in France. Good performance.
Thank you.
Where you'd said that you kind of can't think of many, and I couldn't really think of any, of people who have kind of gone and collected each and every one, rather than, for the British and Commonwealth titles, or for all 3 on the line at once, kind of hoover them up and then move on.
Exactly.
Must give you that such a massive sense of achievement.
Yeah, that's what makes me feel more, it means more to me, because again, I've had to just pick them one by one, do you know what I mean? And against decent opposition, even the European title fight, I would say I was a step ahead of the guy in level terms. But the fact that he's French, I went over to France. I didn't have to go over. I could have fought him on the card next week in Manchester. Do you know what I mean? In the UK, make him come over here. But I said, nah, you know what? I'm ready. I'm good to go. Let's go out there. And it's good experience as well. That was a very good card, as in the whole experience, just the venue, everything, the way they built up the fight. They did the the national anthems.
They did one for the ref.
Yeah, exactly. They did 2. They did the refs one, then they did mine, then they did obviously the German one. I mean the French one, and I was like, what? How many anthems are they doing? This, I was like, they did the refs. I was like, oh, raw, okay, but yeah.
How was the experience overall? I messaged you about it because I just missed you at the Euro because I saw Mark Gillespie, obviously part of your training team. I saw him and I was like, where's Dan? He said, he's late as usual. And then I ended up missing you. But how was the whole experience? Talk to me about your French adventure.
Yeah, it was good, man. To be fair, I was just in the hotel most of the time, train to do my little bits and pieces training wise, and then I'll just chill. But I'm always like that anyway. Fight week, just trying to make the way, and just in my zone. Just just watch some YouTube clips all throughout the week. Watch fights, watch some series, and that's about it. But everyone was really nice to me. I thought it would be a bit more hostile, but it was. I got treated well out there.
What sort of things do you watch? You mentioned kind of fights and series and stuff. Are you always on boxing, or are you trying?
Nah, mix it up. So I'll always watch like Fresh Prince, Bel-Air. Always watch that.
The old one, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Say,
Not the new. Nah.
Looks a bit weird, doesn't it?
Exactly. Exactly. No chance. Yeah, Fresh Prince, and then I'll watch some fights. I always watch like fights like wars. So it just gets me like in that mind frame, this could be a war. I always watch fights where someone's had to face a bit of adversity. So just get into the mind frame of, look, we're about to go to war, man. Do you know what I mean? So
you mentioned weighing in. You had a couple of goes at it. Was that just the whole travelling experience?
No, nothing to do. Because to be fair, I'm not like the biggest light heavy, so it's not. Obviously, maybe the last couple of pounds might be a stretch to make, but I don't proper struggle. I have to do anything crazy, but just the skills we had at the hotel obviously seemed to be a bit different from the one on the night. But I knew straight away, because with scales, you're meant to have it on a flat surface, but the official ones, they were on like a carpety thing. Straight away, as soon as I walked in, my strength and conditioner marker said, look, it's on carpet. It's either gonna say I'm way less or way higher. And then, as soon as I stepped on it, I knew, And then they made me strip and get naked, and I was so pissed. Like, I hate that. Like, every time I watch other fighters do it, I'm like, I would hate to do that.
Was that the first time you've done it?
No, second time, actually.
What was the first time?
When I fought I think I was defending the English. No, when I fought for the English title. Again, same situation. The scales at Peacocks were different from the ones at the weigh-in. But, I should have learned. I don't know. It's just experience anyway. But I didn't have to lose much. Went and took a piss or whatnot, and I was okay. But I just hate having to get butt naked, and and then the promoter just had his jacket, and then because he was like too busy like with what's going on, he was like going. I was like, "Oi, stay there! What are you doing?" Like, he's like, "Yeah, no," and he was going. I was like, "Mate, I'm butt naked. Like, what are you doing?" But it was all good, man.
Yeah, man, it's all about views. Like, I have this running joke with Carl Frampton. People say to me, like, "What's the biggest video you've ever done?" I filmed Carl Frampton weigh-in over in Belfast a few years ago, and he had to strip naked.
Yeah. I bet the towel dropped or something.
No, the towel was fine.
Okay.
But I mean, I can say so. Carl friends, and we kind of have a running joke about it. So out of nowhere, about 6 months after the weigh-in, it just started to kind of go. Sometimes on YouTube, it does stuff like that.
Okay.
And I think at the time, it's not our video; it's a previous company. I think it done like 5.5 million views.
Really?
And I kept saying, I'd look at all of the traffic sources because you can find out where it's coming from. And it was basically all like East Asia.
Yeah.
And the main traffic was from like gay porn sites. So I always say to Frampton, like, when he was active, I was like, make sure you tell people, mate, you've got a huge gay audience, like in like the Far East.
That's and stuff. Hilarious.
So that's what you do. If you're looking for exposure, just a bit of nudity, bit of implied nudity at the weigh-in, and then you're on your way.
Oh gosh, that's hilarious.
So next time, use it as an opportunity, man. That's what you want to be doing.
Wear some sort of thongs or something like weird,
like Ebony Bridges. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What did you make of your performance? Obviously,
I didn't really rate it. I gave my team, we gave it like a 6 out of 7.
6 out of 7? That's good.
Sorry.
There you go, 6 out of 7. I know
this is what happens when you get punched in the head for a living. Do you know what I mean? I give it a 6 or 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah. For many reasons, but the main thing is always just to get the win anyway.
Yeah.
But I think it made for good entertainment, like, last round stoppage, even on the night, like, I'm a weirdo, like, even when he was coming back with shots and then like the crowd are cheering for him, I like it, like, yes, do you know what I mean? I don't like snooze fest. I want people to get their money worth, like, and a lot of people as well after the fight, they were like, we didn't like many of the other fights, but your one was really, I like that. I really want you to come and be entertained, whether it's me punching someone's head in or I'm getting my head punched in. I want you to be entertained. Do you know what I mean? I like nearly all my fights. I think since I've joined Sky, I've been fight of the night, actually. Whether it's I've put on a poor performance or I've put on a good one. And I like that. Do you know what I mean? I want to, you know, boxing's an entertainment sport, man. And yeah, man.
Yeah. How did the atmosphere compare being over there and being over here? Obviously, you're kind of the away fighter over there in general, but how different was it to kind of what we're used to here?
It was all right, man. But, you know, the UK fans, the UK boxing fans, it's like you can't really compare it to anywhere else. But I remember when I was warming up, they were like, oh, it's quite Ben would come in. He's like, yeah, it's quite a like sophisticated audience. You know, there's people with their champagne glasses. So I thought, oh, okay, it's not going to be as rowdy. I thought there was going to be some rowdy Frenchmen and everything like just, but it was cool. It was all right. But they did get behind their guy, like, and when he would have like spurts of success, they would proper cheer for him and everything. And I liked it. It was good. Definitely for my fight, like the atmosphere was, you know, it was up there, and I enjoyed it.
6 or 7 out of 10. What was missing? What weren't you happy with?
Loads of things, man. Loads of things that I could have done. But again, like, I'm not someone that, but you know, I should have did it. The fight's done. It is what it is. It's for me and my team to go back, work on it, and get it right in the next fight. So yeah, I just know what I'm capable of, and I didn't do what I should have done. Otherwise, personally, me, I think I would have got him out a bit earlier. But yeah, it was a good fight, man.
Were you surprised of how tough he was? Because he looked ready to go. I think it was in the 7th.
It was the 6th round.
Yeah, he looked really ready to go.
I watched it just yesterday, and I was like, raw, like he took some licks, like bloody hell, like. But yeah, I was definitely surprised how tough he was. But you got your whole country behind you, and this is what, like, even in football, you know, you could go and face a crap team at home and demolish them. When you go away, it's different. The crowd can give you like a bit of energy, like, do you know what I'm saying? Even with like the Yard Beterbiev fight, like the crowd definitely gave Yard that extra bit more of, do you know what I mean, oomph. And yeah, I've even said it to him, like, when you went over and fought Kovalev, bloody hell, man, I rate you, because, you know, the crowd, the home crowd, always give that fighter that extra bit, like, so yeah.
Before we move on, one of the things that we were always talking about, we even spoke about it yesterday when we did our preview show, available now, check it out, I always get the plug in, was the scorecards. And obviously we saw the main event, we saw Okolie McGowan's fight, obviously yours slightly different, EBU fights, you got EBU appointed judges. Do things like that ever go through your mind? Am I going to get this? Like, I'm away from home
100%.
While you're in the ring?
Whilst I was in the ring, prior, everything. But I didn't see what's his name?
Okolie McGowan.
No one came and told me about the
Probably
fight or
wise,
anything. Yeah, exactly. They didn't tell me. But genuinely, I always think, oh, you know what? If it goes, forget about even if I'm home or away, if it goes to the judges, it's 50-50. Doesn't matter if you think you've won clearly, because it's what they think, innit? It's an opinionated sport. What I think I'm doing, if I think I'm in control, on their eyes, it might not be that way. So even when I've had fights and it goes to the judges, you'll never see me like, yep, I've won that. I'm always like, oh, like, what's going to happen? How many robberies have we seen? What, am I someone special that it can't happen to me? And the thing is, people will moan about it. Oh, that was a robbery. But the next day, who cares? It's on your record. You've lost. You might get a rematch, but does that even happen? So I'm always scared. I always try, if I can, get you out of there. And if that don't happen, in my head, I'm like, yeah, Dan, you had your chance. That's do you know what I mean? So I'll never even moan. Like, if I've got robbed, I'm not someone that's going to moan and be like, yeah, I won that. Nope. You had your chance, Dan. Do you know what I mean? And you didn't get rid of him. So it's 50-50.
Well, you did get rid of him.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why you've got that beautiful EB. It's not quite as nice as the British title, but anyway, it's still decent. The EBU title there.
Yeah.
Could you have ever thought, you know, starting off 5 years ago, that you got all of this hardware together? You don't strike me as a type of kind of like, look, everybody gets into boxing to be as successful as they can.
Yeah.
I'm sure in your head, oh, I'd love to be world champion one day. But you do strike me, and obviously we've seen it in the ring, as like a very much step-by-step person. Have you had your kind of, oh my God moment where you kind of look around?
No, definitely. I'm definitely a step-by-step. If I fumble or I'm struggling at one level, I'm not even looking at the net. So that's why I've done it like that. Like, you know, Southern area, okay, yeah, you've kind of cleaned up. You're at that level. All right, let's go on to English. All right, yeah, you've done your thing there. Now we can move on to British. Yeah, you cleaned up. Now every step is the gateway for the next one. And if I'm struggling to open that door, then forget about it. So that's why, you know, I've done it in that kind of way. So, and as I've gone up the steps, I'm like, raw, okay, is this belt, that belt, raw? Like, I've actually, you know what I mean? Like, I said it the other day in the interview, like, I used to watch Southern Area fights all the time, and there was always like 2 prospects that are on it. So I used to think, bloody hell, can I win can I even win the Southern Area? Like, so, and then when I did come to fight for one, it wasn't against an idiot, you know, Charlie Duffield. Like, he won most of his fights by knockouts. We used to train at the Peacocks together. I've seen him knock guys out, and, you know, so I knew, if I can't beat Charlie, just forget about it. Really. Not that he's crap, but like, come on, like, you need to be dusting up those kind of levels if you've got any aspirations to get to the top. So yeah.
How you getting on with Buddy McGirt? Buddy's an interesting character, obviously very cool customer. Always like him when he pops over here. But you've now been with him for how long have you been with him now?
Since last year, beginning of last year.
So just over a year or so. Yeah. How you finding it with Mr. McGirt?
It's good, man. Buddy's funny, man. He's a character. I spend a lot of time with him outside of boxing. Like when we're in training camp, we always go out to eat. Maybe go to his house out in Orlando, chill with his family. He's got stories for days as well. He's got he's just got so many stories, worked with so many champions and everything. Yeah, he's just a character as well. Like, I like training with Buddy, man, and he's someone that even outside of boxing, we'll talk, he'll call me, just start cussing me, you know. Like,
what about? What sort of things?
I don't want to say it on camera. Trust me, Buddy's a maniac, but yeah, man, I like it, man. He brings a new kind of edge to the team, and yeah, I'm enjoying it, man.
From a boxing point of view, I remember when you like linked up with him. The thing that I always associate Buddy McGirt with is the jab. If you can hear that noise, that's just some drilling next door. Not music. Not to be confused with drill artists. Yeah. We've probably got a few in the block somewhere. But anyway, the thing that I always associate Buddy McGirt with is a jab.
Yeah.
Always everything off the jab, nice long jab, and I thought, Dan Azeez, good jab, long jab. Outside of that, I mean, I'm sure that's been a pivotal part of kind of working together. What else has he brought to you, do you think, as a fighter?
I guess like certain things I do, like he'll question it, like why, like say I'm sparring, or he'll stop. He'll be like, so why did you do this? Like I might give him my reason, which is usually a stupid reason, and he'll be like, no, look, by doing this, you've put yourself in this position. You could have done that, and like, you know, just gives me a different perspective on certain things, like and obviously the jab. But me, I've always known from the amateurs, like the jab is the key anyway, and I've always had a good jab. I've always invested in my jab, working on my jab, and he likes that as well. And I like the way Buddy communicates as well. Like sometimes I could just be doing absolute crap, and just the way he'll be like, hey, stop effing about, like, what's wrong with you? Like, and I like it, like, you know what I mean? And he's quite simple. He'll, like, you know, you get some coaches, they'll like be telling you stuff, and it's like you're in a fire, like, and you're telling me A, B, C, D, and 1 + 2 and 2 times 36, and I just need it simple, please. I don't want this and that, just simple. You know, I'm in a war right now, and Buddy's brilliant at that, and that simplicity makes such a big difference when I get out there and I have to do my thing. I like it.
How have you enjoyed going stateside?
Yeah, I like it. It's hot. I lose weight quick out there. I'll just be doing my raps and I'm drenched. Like, whereas here, I've got like so many thermals on, 2 jackets on, 2 shorts and everything. But yeah, I like it out there. The people as well. So many different styles. You know, you got the brawlers, the slick guys, the tough Mexicans. You got guys out there that they're paid to be sparring partners, and they're good, and you're like, how are you not like a star or something? But their job, that's it. They just come into camps and they're there to just help you, like, and it's good. It's very, I like it. And it's, as well, what I've realized that in the States, like, they might bring me in and say, yeah, guys, we got the British, European, Commonwealth champion. He's undefeated and whatnot. And their attitude is like, all right, yeah, we're gonna see what that 19-0 is. We're gonna test that. Like, they don't, not that they don't rate you, but you have to earn your. Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, cool. We'll see how good you are. Like, even the amateurs. But here in England, they're a bit more respectful, like, which is good. It's not a bad thing. Like, you know, I'll go into a gym. Oh yeah, Dan Azeez, yeah, we got him in there. Like, do you know what I mean? Or so out there, they're like, they want to test that, like, and show you, hey, you're 19-0 or 18-0. All your don't mean shit out here. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
And there's still always, we spoke about this yesterday. There's still always that when you go to America, there's still always like, yeah, but it's British.
Yeah, exactly. They don't.
Yeah.
I remember my first spar in LA when I went to train with Buddy, and I was sparring, I think, an amateur and a decent super middleweight. Like, he's probably had like maybe 20 odd fights, maybe lost maybe 3 or something. I thought, this is gonna be easy, like. And they gave me hell, and I remember the coach was like, "Yep, welcome to America." I was just like, "Run!" Do you know what I mean? So it's good, man.
Yeah, people don't really understand. Like, I used to speak to Luke Campbell about it because he trained in Miami with Jorge Rubio, and it's a different kettle of fish. The talent pool there, and you mentioned there, you can get hard nut Mexicans, like slick Midwest fighters, like you have Dominicans out there, Cubans, and like there's all different types, like a sweet shop, isn't it? There's all different types of styles, which must help you develop so much more, because we don't really have that as much over here.
No, but one thing I rate about British fighters, we've got balls, we'll grit, man. That's just embedded. I don't know what it is. Maybe I don't want to say we're not maybe as good as like the Americans or not, but I see the difference. Like, I'll go out there and I'll see someone and I'll be like, I'll ask, like, how come he's not like up there? There was one heavyweight I saw out in LA. Oh my gosh, this guy was like Tyson Fury, Mike Tyson, AJ, all in one, like slick fighter. He can box on the inside. I said, how's he not like known? He's a heavyweight as well. They say, yeah, he's lazy. He's just, you know, like, they're quite entitled out there. Like, you know, they think, yeah, because I'm good, I don't need to do nothing. I don't need to put in. But in England, like, we don't take stuff for granted. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and we grind, man. Like, that's one of the difference I saw out there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
particularly over here. I mean, we've done really well in the last probably decade or so, and, you know, British boxing is thriving. I think it's easy to lose sight of that, like 100%. How well British boxing is doing. Like, obviously at the minute we're kind of in like a little bit of a transitional phase, like that era after Hay, Froch, Groves, Bellew, like that era of fighters. Brooke, Khan, etc. But generally speaking, boxing's in a pretty good position over here. Whereas Oh God! So Boxer have just, so just 1 second, because this is actually a Boxer announcement. So we're going to have to make sure that we observe it, because we have Boxer's Dan Azeez on here. There's been an announcement for Boxer Chris Billam-Smith headlines on May the 27th. We already knew that, Dan, didn't we? But we don't know yet. Well, we have an idea who. But it's not been announced just yet. Interesting fight in the undercard: Mikel Lawal versus Isaac Chamberlain.
Yeah, I like that. I like what Mikel's done. Like, you know, he's kind of come out of nowhere. Not nowhere, but he's had to graft, and I'm happy that he got the British.
How well do you know Mikel?
Not too well. I've seen him about in the circuit. I see him here and there, but he's more of a quiet, you know.
We did a podcast a few years ago, and within 5 minutes, he obviously, you know, go and kind of research his story. Obviously, he was homeless in Nigeria, and like he had some like real dark start to his life and stuff. So he's always one of those fighters I always look out for, and I hope he does well. I think that's a really good fight. It's a really good style matchup as well. You've got like the raw kind of brutish power of Lawal against Chamberlain's very slick and
You
do a lot of sparring with cruiserweights, don't you?
Who?
Well, you do. You spar Chris Billam-Smith. Kind of one of the things I was talking about earlier with taking things each step. Chris Billam-Smith is very similar, in my opinion. Like, similar sort of mould. Like, he won the Commonwealth title against Glover, then British, now European. He's kind of, and I know you guys do a lot of work in the gym together. It must be nice to have somebody who's kind of done it a similar route, I guess.
Definitely. I remember Chris from even the amateurs and whatnot, but like you said, I've done loads of rounds with him as well. Strong guy. He's got good ring IQ as well. And I'm really interested to know who he's going to fight. When is it? When is
May the 27th?
Yeah, and it's gonna be in Bournemouth, right? Yeah, I fought in Bournemouth, and they love him out there. They really do. It's good to have, like, even if it's a small city or whatnot, just to have, you know, a good core little following. But yeah, I'm interested. I would like to, because I don't think I want to see him against Richard. But yeah,
why not? World title? You want a world title for it, or just because you like both guys?
Yeah, but yeah, I'd like a world title on the line, and I think I'm more interested in seeing Richard and Lawrence. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Chris and Isaac again. That was a really good fight. I really enjoyed that one. So yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good fight.
Yeah.
Sorry, one of the things. Yeah. So moving on.
Yeah.
Where's your dream destination? I mean, Chris Billam-Smith's boxing in Bournemouth at Vitality Stadium.
Yeah.
Where's yours? Where's your Dan Azeez? This is where I want to say you win a world title. Where's your first offense? You can pick anywhere in the world. Where do you want to box?
I'll be honest. I'm pretty much a nomad. I'll fight anywhere. I don't have. Before, it probably would have been like Las Vegas, but like you mentioned, boxing's here, man. We don't have to go to America to be known, or, you know, so I don't really have like any dream to fight in any big stadium in America or anything. I pretty much like boxing in the UK. Don't mind fighting anywhere in Europe. So I'll be honest, sorry, like I don't really. It'll be good to fight at the Emirates, you know. I'm a gooner, so that would, but wherever there's a ring, I'm happy to fight. As long as you got a good crowd, I'm up for it, man.
What about you and Anthony Yard, both Arsenal fans?
Yeah. There's quite a few of us. I went there the other day for the Sporting game. We lost, so yeah. But they were saying, yeah, they've got, you know, Ryder's a gooner, Chef's a gooner. It's quite a few of us, so yeah.
Yeah, that would be an interesting one.
Yeah.
We've mentioned him already, Anthony Yard, and a certain Artur Beterbiev.
Yeah.
I know that you've spoke about the sparring a lot.
Yeah.
But you've never spoke to me about it, so I want to ask you about it. Sharing a camp with Artur Beterbiev. I know we briefly spoke about it after the Yard fight, just how good he is. I think the kind of misconception of Beterbiev is that he's just a destroyer, he's going to walk through. But how good is he?
No, he is good, very good. Got very good ring IQ, got good feet. That's what I was more surprised when I actually went and sparred him. Like, you know, you don't really see that in the ring because he just pummels you to death. Like, do you know what I mean? But yeah, when I sparred him, I realised other little things he does, and I was like, oh, like this guy, like this is where the 300 odd amateur bouts it shows. Like, do you know what I mean? So one thing you don't want to do is get in there and think, oh, he's just this big puncher, because that's what will really throw you off. He's quite skillful, and yeah, he's got freakish power. I'll be honest, he could definitely mix it with like cruisers, 100%. I sparred loads of cruisers, and his punch power's up there with him. And yeah, it was just good to watch him, like see how he prepares, what he does. Like what was so good about that experience, I didn't just go in there for sparring. And so like his coach Mark allowed me to like see
Mark Ramsey,
proper cool guy, allowed me to like stay around, watch what they do, as in preparing S&C stuff, and it was good, man. I really enjoyed it. And just to see someone at that level, what he does, you can nick a couple things and say, oh, he does this, and do you know what I mean? So yeah, man, it was good. And he's another one as well. His character, he's so funny off, like, you know, outside of the ring, he's a proper joker. But you wouldn't think so. You just think he's probably this Terminator, but he's hilarious, man.
How did that come about? How did you find where was the sparring? Was it in Canada?
Canada, yeah. Mark just reached out and said, yeah, would you like to come out and do camp with Beterbiev for the Joe Smith fight? And another thing which was good was, I remember things he was practicing behind closed doors, and he did exactly that against Smith. Like, I was like, raw, that's what he was practicing, even in sparring and stuff. I thought, yeah, that's quality. So they're very meticulous in what they're doing, and just send him out, take him off the leash. Yes, just go. No. Mark is very, you know, he knows what he's doing. They plans well and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, he's a good coach. I always really like listening to him in the corner as well. I think he's very good in the corner, because you'll know, like, just because you're a great trainer in the gym doesn't always make you a great corner man, and vice versa. That's why you get, like, towards the end of their careers, like Angelo Dundee would kind of come into camp on like the last few days and just do the corner, because you need somebody who knows what they're doing. Definitely. In there. On Beterbiev, I mean,
also and Scully as well.
Iceman Scully, John Scully, He knows what.
I trained with him a bit out there as well. Like, I would separately, he knows his stuff as well, man. Bloody hell, he was a very good coach. I still talk to him now. Like, he's really pleased with how I'm doing and everything. So yeah, man.
On Beterbiev, I mentioned there about kind of, being more than a puncher, but the punching power is, what everybody talks about.
Exactly, yeah.
What's it like when you're in there with him?
Do you know what? You're like, the first time I sparred him, I'll be honest, I did 3 rounds with him, and that 3 rounds felt like 6 or 8. I swear to you, but then this is why it's so important to go out and, spar people and check the levels, because then after a while, I became accustomed to it. I was doing more rounds. It weren't as bad, but I can imagine you've never ever fought someone like that, and then you go in there with him. That shock must be so horrible. Like, do you know what I mean? I've said it before. Like, I remember, like, there was a good 5 of us, like, and we're all huddled up. And, like, I've never seen that before. Like, one person's like, all right, you're in first, so yeah, go to the body, like, so that when he gets in and it was so funny. And then you get someone who's shit and they don't contribute to anything of breaking him down or wearing him down. We're just like, he was just a waste of time. So the next person's
just allowed him to get his eye in, man.
Do you know what I mean? So the next person's like, oh man, like, you just warmed him up, so I'm probably gonna take more of a beating. Like, it was funny, man. And then he would even come over and be like, so you lot are planning against me, yeah? Oh, Dan, what, you're the leader, yeah? I'll be like, no, not me. It's not me. Like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, man, it was such a good experience, and I enjoyed it, man.
Everybody always talks about Fury, Usyk, Spence Crawford. For me, like, I remember once, I won't say the person's name, I was in Frank Warren's office, must have been 4 or 5 years ago. He said to me, if you could make one fight in boxing, what fight would you make? And this is, pre-Canelo Bivol, obviously. And I said, Beterbiev Bivol. And he went, you hipster. Yeah, For me, that's still, if not the best fight in boxing, in the top 3.
Yeah.
How does that fight play out? Because obviously we've seen, like, Beterbiev, I mean, I personally don't think he has really lost a step. But the kind of, I guess the common sort of misconception, I believe anyway, is that he's on the slide, whereas Bivol is kind of, he had the win over Canelo, so Bivol's always been a great fighter, but he's now starting to get that acclaim and people start looking at him. But how does that fight play out in your opinion?
Well, for me, it's just whether Bivol can take the power. If Bivol can manage to, because with Beterbiev, there's been fights where he's losing or the guy's kind of doing all right and whatnot, but it's just how much can you take, like, and it doesn't even have to be as in taking punches, just the pressure that in itself will wear you down. And do you know what I mean?
The mental pressure,
exactly.
Just the front foot,
yes, and constantly, and you're just punching him, and he's not really fazed by it, and he just keeps coming, and he knows how to do it so well. Like, it feels like the room or the ring is just getting smaller and smaller. If Bivol can not control that, but if he can take, because he is going to get hit, if he can take the punishment and, like I said, the pressure and everything, I think he stands a great chance. And I think if anyone's going to beat him, it would be him. I think Callum, he's got a good shot as well. I was in Buddy's house watching the yard and Beterbiev with Smith, and he didn't seem phased. I think he thought, I think I can do this. He felt quite confident, and I think he can punch, he's got the height, he's skillful, technique's on point. I watch him do pads with Buddy and I'm like, bloody hell, man, this guy can whack, and just his technique is really, really good, and I think he stands a good chance against Beterbiev. But again, as well, with him, is probably can he take that pressure, the shots and whatnot? So yeah, everyone's human. There's always a way to beat someone. It's just whether you can actually go and execute and do it.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's always kind of there's multiple ways to beat everybody, but everybody always kind of looks at Bivol and the style of boxing on the outside. So I'm just going to turn that off. boxing on the outside, but then we've seen Callum Johnson have success punching with him. Is that kind of... I mean, Callum's not really... While being a big guy, he doesn't really fight like a big guy. He's not like a Klitschko, keep you at the end of the jab.
Exactly, he can box on the inside nicely.
He likes to have it out, doesn't he? He likes to have a tear up.
Those kind of fighters as well, like, I really rate the tall guys who can actually box on the inside. Tyson Fury is the same, like, he's a tall, big guy that can mix it on the inside as well. So, like even Bivol, when he fought Ramirez, he was going at it as well. It's like he wanted to prove, like, all right, I can do your Mexican style and have it with you as well. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, Bivol's like the Mexicutioner, isn't
he?
Do you know? Beat Canelo, beat Ramirez. I think I seen somebody, they were talking about him trying to fight Jaime Munguia, like bringing Munguia up from, I think he's like super middle, kind of like floating about. He's got that big frame, isn't he? What's it like sharing sharing a trainer, sharing a camp with another, you're up there now, you're well ranked across the board, you're European champion, you've got Callum there, obviously you're both in the same weight class, which I know from speaking to other fighters in the past isn't always like the most harmonious thing, but I mean, you both seem like nice guys, so I'm sure there isn't kind of the animosity between you, but what's it like having somebody in the same weight?
The thing about me, I'm a realist, like, Callum's elite. He's only lost to Canelo. He was undisputed champion at super middleweight. Like, where he is not where. So I can't feel like, we're on the same level. Like, I know where we are in it, and we both, like you said, we both share the same camp. Unless Buddy can split himself in two, that fight's not. So when we're in the gym, we're cool. Like, it's not awkward. Like, and Callum's a proper cool guy. I actually like him. Like, proper nice guy, and it's good to just watch and see someone at that level do their thing as well and see how they prepare and whatnot. And it's not like awkward at all, man. Do you know what I mean? So
well, that's good to hear. Obviously in recent weeks, the last week or so, or the last couple of weeks, there's been big news over these shores. Boxer, light heavyweight division, your old mate Joshua Buatsi. I should have sent you this. I'll probably put it on the screen for this, so we'll ignore this a little bit. With I think you were at Miguel's gym like years ago, and Buatsi was there, and like I know you like known him and sparred with him an awful lot. Obviously, he's now signed with Boxer. From the outside looking in, it looks as though that's a potential fight, if not for now, but certainly down the line. What's your kind of view on the whole Buatsi to Boxer situation?
Yeah, I was pleased, man, because like again, I'm around him. I sparred him in preparation for my last fight. Like, it's a good mate of mine, known him for years, and obviously I've seen how he's had like nearly a whole year layoff, like, and I'm just happy for him that he's on a new platform now that a lot of people can probably see him more. He can probably get a bit more active and be where he's supposed to be. He's an Olympian, bronze, got a bronze medal. You would think he'd be further than where he is now. Like, Lawrence came out of the same Olympics. He's a world champion for nearly over a year now. So I'm just happy that he can get back on track and get to where he needs to be but again, we're in the same division, we're mates, and it's not the first time mates have fought each other and whatnot. Like, you go back to even like when Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Holyfield, they all used to spar each other and they were cool and everything, but they had good fights between themselves, and I think a fight between us would be entertaining as well. So maybe down the line is something that can happen. But he didn't come to Boxer to make that fight happen. Me and him are the type of people, whether he was with Frank, whether he was with DAZN, if we're gonna fight, we're gonna fight. It's not it needs to be on my platform, or I'm not going to, I'll go anywhere. And he's got the same like mindset. So we'll see, man.
Obviously, without going into it too much, because it is a potential fight for you down the line. What's good? I know you've done a lot of rounds of him. What do you rate about Josh?
Loads of things, man. Like, got a good jab. Mindset mainly, mindset. Got good ring IQ. Brilliant combination puncher. Man. Like, you see me, I've been sparring him since he even went to the Olympics. So. And I've said it so many times, I was a shit amateur, man. Do you know what I mean? And Josh was like one of the main guys. So even though he's younger than me, I'm like looking up to him like, oh, this guy is sick. So when we would spar, I'm learning from him. There's times like he'll stop the spars. Like, Dan, like, he'll give me advice. Like, Rocky? Have you watched? You know when Rocky and Creed, when they were sparring, and then Creed's like going mad at him, like, come on, what's wrong? Josh has like done that before. Like, hey, what's going on? Like, stop getting hit with this shot so much. Like, and that's why I got a lot of love for him. Him, Dwayne, Sinclair, and them lot. Like, they helped me develop as a fighter as well. You go loads of places and you spar and they don't give a shit about you. You're just another body for them to but these guys actually like would actually try and help me get better, and you know, oh, hey, you're breathing, like, you know, do this. And so that's why I really like them. Do you know what I mean? But it don't mean we can't fight.
No, of course not. I think like that's probably a question that I wouldn't necessarily ask another fighter, you know, about somebody is in that, you know, same division, same broadcast, because you know it can get a bit. But obviously, you are, you know, you're one of the. You always kind of keep it as it is and then say what you feel. And I know he's very much of a similar mold.
Definitely, even when like we was probably, I think when we first started as pros, or even maybe as amateurs, we would be like, yeah, you know, like down the line, like if we ever had to fight, as long as, you know, it makes good business sense and something, you know, tangibles on the table, like, we'll get it on. And then even after the Craig fight, because we all know each other, like, we're all from similar areas. Straight after that, he's like, oh, Dan, you know, I think we could actually fight, you know, it ain't that bad. Like, I'm looking at him like look at this guy. Like, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, man.
I mentioned there about him going over to Boxer, of course, which is where you are now. Just describe for me, if you can, how your career is really. I mean, again, you know, before you went there, you were still kind of, you know, doing your thing and picking up belts along the way. But it seems to me like you've really hit that sweet spot in your career now, where everything's fallen into place with you, with Boxer as your promoter, Sky Sports as your broadcaster, and you're there now.
Yeah, no, just when I joined them, one of my main things was, listen, I just want to be busy, please. Like, I don't want to come off, because when you sign to these big like promoters, it's hard to like be out. My thing is, I wanted to be busy. I like 4 times a year, and you know, everything they've promised me, they've delivered on. Do you know what I mean? You know, I told them I want to go step by step, you know, with each title. I want to have that on my CV. You know, I'll box for each and every title. And they say, yeah, no problem. Like, we'll do that. We'll make the fights happen. So yeah, man, everything's gone well, and I can't thank them enough. Like, you know, Ben's young, he's like up for, you know, you give him an idea or whatnot, he's up for it. He's not like stuck in his ways, you know, he will listen and see if he can make it happen. So yeah, man, I think we make a decent team.
Well, it's certainly working so far, so I'm inclined to agree with you. Where does the Marvin Hagler stuff come from? Like, if I had bad eyesight, and I was watching this guy, I think Marvin Hagler's boxing.
Yeah, in France, a lot of the people are like, yes, you remind me of Hagler. Like,
what gave me away?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Just how he come up, like, everyone knows he's like my favorite fighter, but I like his story. Again, off camera, we were talking about fighters who face adversity. I love that. Like, I love watching like a fighter get knocked down and then come back and win by a knockout, or someone who's losing on points and they come back and whatever. I love that. And I think he faced adversity from the minute he probably laced on gloves, like, do you know what I mean? And I just like his come up, his mentality as well. Like, it's like he's just, you know, he's tough, like, mentally. And you know, he came over here, he had to fight Minter in his back garden, you know, couldn't even celebrate after he won.
He got chased out the ring.
Do you know what I mean? And he didn't have things easy, man. And yeah, he just faced a lot of adversity, overcome it. And yeah, I just like his story. So sometimes if I feel like I'm going through the littlest adversity, I'll look at his story and be like, oh, come on, look what he had to do. Not just him, but other fighters as well back in the day. And I think, hey, like, stop crying and get on with it. Do you know what I mean?
What's your favourite Hagler fight?
Probably him versus Mugabe. Yeah, I love that fight because Mugabe was young, up and coming, probably won all these fights by knockout.
It was like everything in the first round.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And Mugabe was a brilliant fighter as well. And Hagler didn't have it all his way as well in that fight. That's what I'm saying. I don't like watching fights where the guy's just breezing it easily. Like, he had to face a bit of adversity in that fight as well, and then as the fight went on, he showed his levels. Like, and yeah, that's probably my favorite one.
That was on. I think it might have been on after the show that you were on recently, because like again, like when we spoke about it off camera, where like you have lazy people who don't want to change the channel. Well, I am definitely that person. I'm the type of like after a pay-per-view show, and then you know how you always get the like pay-per-view music. It's just that's on for like 3 hours. You just can't be able to change it. I think it was on after the show that you were on, the Mugabe fight. If you haven't watched that, go and have a look at that. John the Beast Mugabe against Marvin Hagler. Do you think Marvin Hagler beat Sugar Ray Leonard?
Yeah, by 1 round. I've sat there and scored it. I've done it a couple times, and I always give it to Hagler by 1 round. So the fact that I only just give it to him by 1 round, it could go either way. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't think he got robbed. You know, it was a brilliant fight as well. But I always give it to Hagler 1 round. But that might just be me being, do you know what I mean?
You're watching it for your Hagler, wearing your Hagler t-shirt, wearing your shorts and your long socks.
Exactly. So, do you know what I mean? So, I don't know, but it was a brilliant fight nonetheless, man.
Yeah, it's one that me and my dad always argue, because my dad's like a big Sugar Ray Leonard.
Oh,
like,
really?
When I was growing up, my dad, you know how like normal parents have like photos of the kids and stuff? No, my dad. Yeah. So we had like 2 pencil sketches in the living room. One was of Ali and one was of Leonard. Okay. So when we were growing up, and like, as I grew up and grew older, I sort of gravitated more towards Hagler and Duran. And that's one of the arguments that we always have about Hagler versus Leonard. He fought Leonard won, Hagler won. Let us know in the comments who you thought won, Hagler or Leonard. So what's the plan next for you? I know you want to be nice and busy. You've got more hardware now. I know you want to win that British title outright, because it's such a beautiful belt that you want to keep hold of it, as you should. So what's the plan for Dan Azeez moving forward?
Probably, I might have a defense for the European, or maybe an eliminator for like a world title. But I'm quite highly ranked in most of the governing bodies. But yeah, it's just my team as well, what they think's, you know, next. I'd like to defend the British probably against Lyndon. I think he's a good opponent, and I think he's going for the IBO or something.
It's boxing
like
this week, boxing on Friday. 2 days,
He's another cool guy. I was out in Canada with him.
He is very cool. He is so laid back.
Yeah, just proper chilled. Like, he was sparring Beterbiev as well. I remember I was doing my S&C circuit, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, can I join in?" Like, he's a proper cool guy. Like, and was like, I can't say a bad thing about him. Obviously, he's Beterbiev, but he was actually doing good against him. Like, he's got a fantastic jab, and I hope he does well. What is it, this Friday?
He's boxing Brian Suarez. We were talking about it yesterday, so I mean, I don't know what your knowledge of the Argentinian heavyweight division is.
I don't know anything about him as well, but
mine's not massive.
I hope he does well. Like, or if not, maybe someone in the top 10. You know, there's a couple good fights, man. Again, I just want to be busy and fight people that, you know, either gonna elevate me in the rankings or just be able to learn and help me develop as a fighter. So when I do fight for a world title and I'm up there, you know, I can make a good show of myself and hopefully bring a title back. I know it ain't gonna be easy. You know, the guys that are holding
that division, I mean,
you know what I mean?
Historically, it's probably one of, if not the strongest division in the history of the sport.
Exactly.
Like, particularly in the last 15, 20 years. It's like, do you want to fight this Eastern European killer or this Eastern European killer?
So it's not going to be an easy feat. And I know that. I'm very realistic. And we got good fighters in the UK as well, man. I said it loads of times. I'd love for us to do some sort of
round robin.
That would be just so sick.
Who's going to be in your round robin?
Me. Yard, Buatsi, Craig, Lyndon Arthur.
That's 5. You need one more.
Pitters. I put Pitters in there. Yeah, they don't really mention his name, but he's a good fighter as well. It's just that obviously he lost to me and Craig, but I won't just put him out of the equation. He's another good light heavy as well. If we could get Callum in there, but I think again, Callum's at the stage of his career who wants the world title. Yeah,
fights.
Do you know what I mean? Well, he's done a Super 6 already. Do you know what I mean? So I understand. So I'll probably put us, the 6 of us in that. That would be good. And just everyone, just fight everyone. Do some sort of table, like a Champions League.
Something like that would be amazing. I mean? It's exactly what
everyone fights everyone, and whoever's got the most points or most wins, I think that would be so sick. I would love that. I would really, really love that. You got some good up and coming like heavyweights coming through as well. So yeah, man.
Ben Whittaker was going to fight you in 5 fights, wasn't he? At one point. What was your kind of thoughts? Because I couldn't imagine you kind of being like, I can't imagine you being offended by it, because I don't really imagine you being offended by an awful lot of things. But when you see somebody like Ben, who's very kind of, you know, he is flamboyant is the word for him. Kind of calling your name. Oh, I beat this guy. I'm not going to do the accent. I'm rubbish. This is where we need Andy. Andy needs to come in and do the accent. But when you're hearing him say things like that, we just kind of look at it as a wry smile.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. You need characters in boxing, you know. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, like I've earned my stripes. It's up for him to do the same. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can call me out all you want, but you know, whether that fight's gonna materialize. I'll tell you what, when he was calling me out, I got on the phone to my manager, I got on the phone to Ben. This is what I like about Ben. He's very accessible. I can call him right now, have a chat with him, just chat shit, whatever. It doesn't matter. He's, you know, he's not, doesn't think he's too, do you know what I mean? I said, let my next fight be Ben. He's talking a lot. Let it be. He's like, no. Do you know what I mean? Nah, listen, we've just signed him. He's doing his thing. You know, you're doing. So that's why I didn't take offense to it. Like, if it was something that, like, say Ben was like, you know, we're gonna build that fight, I might have been a bit offended. Like, raw, like, you're really gonna like put me in. But I said, you know what? Let's have it. That would actually be good. Like, but they were like, nah. So I knew it was just. And I just beat Hosea, so I was kind of the talk of the town. Like, so it's a good way to just attach yourself to what's going on. But I didn't take it with no offense. He's good. I like him, and you know, his debut was wicked. I was entertained by it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing his journey. And he's a nice guy as well, if I'll be honest. Behind all of that stuff, but you know, you need characters. That's why everyone's going on to this like YouTube boxing and stuff. They're crap, but they're characters. Do you know what I mean? The build-up sometimes is more... people look forward more to the build-up than the actual fight. Like, do you know what I mean? I look at the Tommy Fury and Jake Paul fight. You might have liked it. I don't know.
It wasn't my thing.
Do you know what I mean?
Were decent though.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it weren't that great of a fight, but the build-up, you know, it's interesting. And I think that's what we're missing a bit in the real boxing. Like, do you know what I mean? The build-ups and stuff. I was saying to you off camera, I wish like I could have a beef with Craig or Buatsi or Yard, and we didn't like each other because it will build for such a great fight. But we're all so cool. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm cool with Yard, I'm cool with Craig, I'm cool with Josh. But if we actually genuinely didn't like each other, do you know how brilliant of a story it would make? Like, do you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I always try and say this to people, because obviously in modern times in general, but also with boxing and kind of family friendly and kind of making it, but ultimately people watch boxing because it's like the biggest fights always have that. They have that bit of needle behind them. Obviously we don't like to see people take it too far, and we always hope that people keep it respectful. But for the casual fan, for maybe tuning in on the, you know, when Derek Chisora fought David Hay and had the steel thing in front of them. Like, that's what people tune in for. People 100%. Are like, you can't always get away from what boxing is. Have you ever, like, because you've had your moments where you've not been kind of lauded and put there as a famous interview clip that we all see now. It's like, you know, my name's got to be there now with Yard, Buatsi, etc. Has there ever been a moment where you've kind of, I don't want to say sort of like thought, okay, well, I'm going to say or do something stupid, but kind of been tempted to be a little bit more outspoken or veer away from who you are as a person?
Not really. But sometimes my mates are like, yeah, you should just do this, but it's not me. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm like, you see, when I started boxing, Robbie, I didn't do boxing because I thought I want to be this superstar. I didn't even get in it to like say I want to earn loads of money. I just wanted to like see how far I can go, and in the process, like, kind of inspire other people as well to, like, you know, you don't have to be the most talented. You don't have to be, you know, I've done it from when you was young. As long as you just focus on something, you're consistent and you're disciplined, you can get far. Like, I want that to be I want people to be able to relate to that. Like, do you know what I mean? I see a lot of people like in the gym, they're young and they're like, oh yeah, you know, do you think I can do that? And I'm like, mate, you're sick. Like, when I was like your age or when I was an amateur, I was crap. Look how far I've gone. So as long as you just stick with it and stay disciplined, trust me, you'll get far. You'll do what you need to do. So yeah, and I just want to, like, I see on my Wikipedia the other day, like, yeah, I'm the only, no, not even Wikipedia, Robert James, no, is it Robert Smith was Robert like, Smith, yeah, you're the only one like heavy to have won all the titles. Like, that can never leave me. Whether someone else does it down the line, yeah, that's okay. But I'm the first to do it. So legacy, like, do you know what I mean? When I'm dead and gone, like, that will always, yeah, Dan was the first to do it. Like, I like that. Like, that's wicked. Like, do you know what I mean? So me doing outlandish stuff, trying to like get people to know who I am or whatever, doesn't really cross my mind. Like, if I do something crazy, that's just maybe it's me. It's natural. That's, do you know what I mean? So whereas these other guys, they can do that. Like, it just doesn't really resonate with me. Do you know what I
mean? And the last thing you want with something like that is for it to feel contrived and feel like it's something that like it's not really, because that always makes me a bit.
Yeah, like Rob, you seem like someone that you don't really like the cheese. Like, you like to, like, you're very just, you know, nah, I'm not doing that. Like, do you know what I mean? And you're doing all right. Look, ID.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind a little bit of cheese, but it has to be kind of, again, it's sort of similar to you, where it's like, you know, you want to stay true to what you enjoy and what you want to do. And I feel like that kind of gives you long-term happiness, sustainability, whatever you want to call it. You're never like trying to impress somebody else. And, and that's the vibe that I get from you, is that as long as you feel that you're doing what you want to do, and what you want to do is box and be busy and active and win belts and stuff like that, and create like a legacy like you've just said, then you're happy. Yeah. And that's obviously a great place to be in, because you don't feel like, don't always get that from fighters. No. You know, and it kind of, I mean, you know, God forbid you were to lose everything, I don't think it would massively change you as a person, you know? Whereas a lot of people seem, or not a lot of people, you know, some fighters, I would say a lot of fighters, some fighters, they're kind of, their whole being really is tied up in what they want to do or how they do it. Whereas, and then if it goes wrong or something happens, it completely changes who they are, doesn't it? Yeah,
I did an interview on, it might have been Boxing Social, actually. Yeah.
We'll cut that out.
Sorry. And I was talking about, I don't care about my own, but I don't mean it as in like, I don't care about losing, or I'll go into in a ring to, you know, I don't give it my all. It's what I mean is like, I go in there to fight, give it my all, and, you know, win, lose or draw, I'm happy knowing that, okay, I've done what I've needed to do, and, you know, whatever the result is that's the result, innit? Like, I can't do anything. Like, I'm not, you know, this undefeated guy and that's who I am. And then if I lose, like, it's like, I don't know who I am anymore. I feel like I've lost something. No, I'm just me, like, and I'm happy being like that. Do you know what I mean? So,
and it's so easy for people to kind of fall into that, particularly in boxing, because boxing, I mean, apart from me, is a very kind of macho sport. It's very sort of like, you know, you win a couple of fights, knock a few guys out, and you know what it's like. You would have had it. I mean, I don't see like a massive entourage of people here with you, but like, you start getting people kind of tagging along and telling you you're this and telling you you're that, and then you lose and you think, well, hang on, I'm supposed to be this, or I'm supposed to be that. And again, it's kind of like having the way that you feel about things and the way that you go about things. It kind of means that you'll always be honest with yourself. You'll always kind of understand where you are. Okay, I lost the fight. Why did I lose the fight? And be able to kind of not lose your mind, really, because it's so easy to do that in a sport like boxing.
100%. I don't like having people tell me, oh, you're so good, or like, even when I've got a fight coming up, I hate when people come up to me, oh, you're going to smash this guy. I hate it so much. I was saying it on another interview. I like being realistic and, you know, staying grounded, and do you know what I mean? Like, I don't need like 100 people following me or whatnot, like, because again, if it all goes wrong or whatever, you know, these people, they're not there anymore. I've always had the same people that I've had from when I was in school around me, and, you know, the people who's in my team, I've got a good relationship with them. Win, lose or draw, I know they're not the type that will just go away and whatnot, like, you know. So yeah, man, staying true to yourself is very important.
It certainly is. Because once you're in there, it's only you, and
Yes.
you have to be comfortable with who you are and what you've done.
100%. Even when I walk to the ring, you know, sometimes like your trainer goes with you and whatnot, your team. I always said no. Let me go out by myself, because when I'm in the ring, it's just me. No one can fight for you. So I've always just adopted that mentality. Like, you know, at the end of the day, it's just you. So, you know, be ready for anything. Like, by yourself.
When you're on that ring walk, when like I'm always fascinated to speak to fighters about, because you could be the nicest, most chilled guy in the world, and then when it gets down to sort of 6 o'clock on a Saturday, things change a little bit. Do you change gradually through the week? Are you nice and relaxed all the way? Is it when the ring walk hit? When do you kind of have your?
I'll be honest. I don't really have like a. It's just however I feel on that week and that day. Sometimes I can be serious. Sometimes I could be all jokey and laughy, enjoying myself. I'm happy. It just depends. Like, but obviously, as soon as I get in there, no matter what, it's okay. This is serious. I see it as a job, you know. Like every time, like I don't even really. I remember talking to Richard years ago, and he was like, "Hey Dan, man, like enjoy the whole journey. Like you're too like, you know, look, I gotta do this." So that's how I see it. Like every time I'm fighting, it's like a job. I've got to get the job done. I never ever like, you know, the press conferences, like, you know, the interviews, and I don't really enjoy it. Like as in like, enjoy the time and whatnot. I always feel like nope. Until the job's done, then that's when I can, chill and enjoy things. And then even then, after that, I'm like, okay, what's next now? Like the job's not really ever over. But you know, at the end of the day, when I do get my hands raised, I feel like, good. On to the next one now. What's
your most satisfying moment so far in the sport? Would it be recently? Would it be winning the European, or is it something a little bit special, something along the line?
What's my most... They all are. I don't have a specific one, I'll be honest. From winning the Southern area, I'll never forget that. That was probably my favourite. Like, because that was like my announcement. Like, okay, Dan, you're here. All of them. Winning the British was wicked. Fighting in Bournemouth against Rockets, they're all good, man. Do you know what I mean? All the defences, that every part I've enjoyed, and you know, there ain't really one special moment. Maybe when I get a world title, that will probably I'll feel like, wow.
You and Beterbiev.
Yeah, maybe.
There we go.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. It's funny, things like that. I mean, it's a story as old as time in sport. You know, ex-sparring partners, or you know, you're on that stage of your career while he's there, and then all of a sudden, you know, you're up there, and
100%.
Yeah, that could be the one. I remember your fight with Charlie Duffield when you won the Southern Era. I remember doing it with one of my favourite post-fight interviews. We did an interview afterwards, and you went, just before we wrapped up, you went, Rob, can I shout out my sponsors? And I went, of course you can. And then you like got your t-shirt out, turned it up. Rob, can you see it? And I remember like moving it up and down.
But do you know why? Because them times, you remember it's small hall, you're not earning no money, so you're so like grateful for, even if someone gives you £50 or just buys 2 tickets, and do you know what I mean? Any type of help, or like a new a company that gives you food and does your prep, you're so grateful. Like, please let me shout them out. But the wider audience probably don't give a shit. Like, do you know
what's this guy doing?
Change
he's
to
probably,
the next.
people will think like, oh, he's probably got loads of money. Look at him.
Oh my gosh, mate, I'll be honest, I didn't start earning proper good money till probably after Hosea fight. Yeah, like it's been tough. I remember selling a Rolex that my best mate bought for me to pay for an opponent to fight in, was it Ipswich? I think me and Fabio were headlining. Fabio was undefeated, maybe 6-0 or something. He was headlining because I think he's from up that way. And I literally just went there with like about 5 people just to build my record. Like, do you know what I mean? I had to pay for the opponent, didn't earn a penny. Like, it's hard times. Like, you sacrifice a lot, man. It's not easy at all, man. Especially, that's why I like going to small hall shows and watching the fights. I'll go down there. If I can do commentary, I like it. I proper love it, like, because I know how hard it is for these guys. Like, obviously, you'll get some people who've got good support, but majority of them, it's not easy, man. Like, and I've been there, and I know how it is. So, yeah, man, them times I'm really, really grateful for anyone who would even buy a ticket. I used to go and deliver my tickets. Like, even on fight week, even though I'm tired, making weight, go and go, oh, thank you so much, because it meant so much to me. Like, do you know what I mean?
I think that resonates with people. I mean, like, I'm going to embarrass you now. Yeah. You're probably, I think I tweeted something like this the other week when you box. Pound for pound, you're up there with the most well-loved fighters that we've got over here.
You think so?
Yeah. Would you not agree? Like, I mean, I say it's difficult for you to say, but like, I don't think I've ever seen anybody say anything bad about you. I don't think I've ever heard anything like in boxing. You know, that's very rare. Like, usually somebody has a story or somebody has something, and you know, when you fight now, it's like you get people who have covered you from those days, and they've seen all of the graft. And look, everybody has their own kind of route in the sport, and just because you went to the Olympics and start off on TV with good money doesn't mean you're a bad bloke or anything like that. But I think everybody sees how you've gone about your career, and the fact that, you know, you always stay true to yourself. You're not a trash talker. You're always very grateful. You have become one of the success stories of British boxing. That must give you, well, I mean, how does it make you feel?
No, it makes me feel very, it's good, because again, I want to inspire people and let them know, hey, it can be done. You know, you don't have to be on the GB squad. You don't have to be an Olympian or have this great amateur pedigree. Like, it can be done as long as you just, again, discipline, you're consistent, and you're focused. Like, even Josh, like, when he was having his announcement with Boxer, first thing he did, Dan Azeez, like, big me up. The reason why is because he's been there from the start. He know, like, from when I first started, and the rise. You know, when you just watch someone grow, like, it's like, raw, like, he's done well. It resonates with you more, like, and do you know what I mean? Like, even Yard, I remember one time I was out in what was it? Stratford, the shopping centre.
The Westfield.
Westfield. Yeah. I remember I was out there, just had like little leaflets. I was just handing them out. Yeah, you know, I'm fighting. And I remember seeing Yard, and you're like, right, Dad, is this what you're doing? I was like, yeah, man, I'm trying to sell tickets, get people to know who I am and stuff. Again, him, when he sees me, he's like, nah, Dan, like, you've done, him and Tunde, Dan, you've done so well. We'll remember you from, you know, when you was just handing out leaflets and stuff. And it just, like, it's like, raw, we can relate to that. Everyone likes a come up story, do you know what I mean? Everyone, again, like I said, everyone likes adversity, when someone's faced with adversity and they can, you know, overcome it. And coming up through the small hallway and you ain't got no big backing or anything, that's adversity. Like, there's times you could just think, oh, this is long, man. Like, especially when you're reaching an age where you know, family's getting involved, like, you got family, and how you earning money, how you supporting your family and stuff. It's a lot of sacrifice. When you're young, you're probably still at mum's house and everything. It's okay. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to, you don't, there's not that much to sacrifice. But as you're getting older, like, I'm 33 now. Like, I turned over when I was 27, 28. Do you know what I mean? That's when you're starting to, like, you're a man and you're going to start having responsibilities and stuff. And then to just jack all that and say, yeah, I want to be a boxer, and you're not even all that. It's a bit like, you know,
people just,
yeah, okay, yeah, good luck to you. Listen, Rob, I remember, like, coming up, remember, I'm from around, like, I trained with Lawrence, all these, like, I've been around, like, good boxers, and I know they were definitely, not saying Lawrence, but I'm saying other fighters that were quite established, thinking, oh, good luck to him, like, poor guy, like, all right, like, do you know what I mean? Like, and I know now they're thinking, raw, like, he proper stuck with it, and look where he is, like, do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
So we'll be doing we'll next get Dan in after he's won a world title. There'll be able to be shades on. There'll be like 30 or 40 people here. There'll be women queuing around the corner. Dan Azeez goes big time. The second time we bring you in here.
Not even, man. Nah.
What do you do in your spare time, then? When you're not boxing, what are you doing?
I read, go to I like going to the gym to relax, watch football, play a bit of football. What else? I'm quite a boring guy, you know, if I'll be honest.
Most fighters are.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
genuinely,
quite a boring guy. I like my own company as well. I can be by myself for a long time, like, just seclude myself from everyone. Yeah, I just
keep it nice and simple.
Yeah, listen to music, listen to some nice R&B. You know, I like going out to eat. I was telling your colleague just off air, like, when I was getting ready for my fight, I'll just be on Instagram and I'll just be saving loads of restaurants and stuff like, and I'm like, yeah, watch after this. I'm going to all these restaurants. Like, there's even one I'm sure near here that I'm after this I'm gonna go to. So yeah, I like traveling as well. I love traveling.
Where you been?
Recently, I went DR. I just come back from Germany. Been quite a few places. I'm looking to go Kenya. Soon. Yeah, I want to go Kenya. Yeah, but I don't like long flights. I hate long flights. I really do.
Well, Kenya's quite far away.
Yeah, like anything over 3-4 hours. Yeah, I don't really enjoy. And I'm not making the mega box where I can be in like first class. Do you know what I mean?
Not yet.
Lie down. Do you know what I mean? So my back will be aching, legs are stiff and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, well, Jordan's your man for restaurants. Jordan's.
He told me. That's it. That's what I was. Yeah, Jordan.
Jordan's the man for restaurants. Jordan. If I'm going out for dinner in London, he's pretty much.
He knows the guy. Places,
yeah. Don't ever travel with him though. He's one of them that if you're going to travel with him, you're talking about like getting the first class treatment.
Yeah.
He will leave you like that if it means he can get 6 inches of extra leg room. Shocking behaviour. All right, Dan. Well, look, I feel like we've covered most bases.
Yes.
Always a pleasure to catch up with you. I can't believe it's been that long.
Before we go, I want to ask you.
Okay.
Who would you like to see me fight?
Well, we had this kind of a brief conversation, didn't we? At the Buatsi announcement. Like, I know he's not really available / active anymore, but like, remember when Sullivan Barrera was that fringe world level? I'll tell you what, because I can't think of anybody off the top of my head because you put me on the spot. Let's just dive on Boxrec.
Yeah.
But that type of level, somebody fringe level.
Yeah.
Again, what you said earlier is absolutely right. Somebody going to teach you something. Somebody who knows their way around the ring and can show you a little bit of something.
Because one thing I definitely don't want to, when I'm there at that level, that world level, I don't want it to, like, say I lost to someone, I don't want it to be like, because the experience or whatnot. I want it to be, if I did lose, like, it's because he's the better. Yeah, simple as that.
Somebody like Matthew Bauderleek, who Callum obviously boxed out in. Yeah, he's a good
boxer.
Good level.
He was I think he was the European champion before me. So
yeah, somebody like that would be decent. Again, somebody who knows their way around a ring.
Yeah. And he's up for a tear up as well, to be fair.
Yeah, his fight with Callum was really good.
Exactly.
He just got hit with that catch and counter left hook. Exactly. And you can't get hit with that.
No, not from Callum.
No, that's the one shot that you don't want. Richard Rivera, who boxed Badu Jack, a cruiserweight, he's lively.
Yeah. Where's he from?
So he's American. He's the.
I don't think I've heard of him, but
the Popeye the Sailor Man guy. So he boxed on the Usyk-Joshua 2 undercard. He boxed Badu Jack. Cruiserweight.
Is he a light heavy?
He's dropped down to light heavy now. Yeah, because obviously Jack's not a fully fledged cruiser. Is he? Somebody like him, he's lively. Somebody who come and stick it on you. Somebody a little bit different. Alexander Vozdik's back now. He's boxing Ricard's Bolotniks.
I wouldn't mind having the winner of that.
Yeah,
I think I rate
Vozdik. Very good,
and I rate Bolotniks as well. He was out in Canada with me when we were sparring Beterbiev, and he was good. He was a good tag team partner to have. Definitely. If he's going in before me, and he would say the same thing, Dan, if you go in before, we were happy because you would have worn him down, taken that energy bar down.
Like on the PlayStation.
We loved it. When he would go before me, I loved it. I wouldn't mind the winner of that.
Yeah, that's good. And interestingly enough, I said this a few times when we was on the thing. We saw Vozdik we went to the WBC convention in Acapulco last year, and he's now with Eddie Reynoso. So Eddie Reynoso manages him. He's out in Mexico, and he'd said to me at the time, he was like, he's trying to get a fight with Matchroom. And he said, so do you know Joshua Buatsi's team? And I said, yeah. At the time, he's obviously with 258. He's like, tell him I was out here drinking and eating burgers. I was looking fat and stuff like that. And then he said, that Bolotniks. And I said, he's fighting at the time, he was fighting Craig. Yeah. And I said, like maybe Bolotniks or the winner of that or something like that. And he said, he's a Latvian. And I said, yeah. He said, yes, I would like to fight him. So I think there's some sort of Ukrainian Latvian beef. But that's on the Canelo Ryder card.
That's a very good fight,
That is the fight for Vozdik where you see what you got left. Because he had, 100%. 3 years out? Nearly 3 years out?
I thought he was done. Then someone told me, he's back and he's looking for a fight.
Yeah, so he actually took time out because COVID. He had 3 fight dates that we're going to release an interview in probably the next couple of weeks. I'll send it to you. Where he had 3 fights that were pushed back. He said he was making good money outside the ring with investments and other things that he was working on. And he thought, look, I don't know. And nobody really knew at the time whether COVID was going to, some promoters were like, the show's cancelled for 3 weeks. And then other people were like, boxing might just finish forever. And nobody had any idea what was going on. So he retired. And now he's kind of, COVID seems to be kind of on the way out or whatever you want to call it. He's come back for that. So he's kind of, I initially thought when he retired, he lost to Beterbiev. Yeah. Good time to get out. You had that big fight. You won a world title. You had that brilliant fight with Adonis Stevenson. That's a good time. But he said, the competitive nature and stuff, that's what I want to do. And he looked in good nick. Yeah. So that'd be a good one.
Definitely.
Maybe if he looks really good against Bolotniks, maybe not him. Because...
Well, it's like you said, because that come forward style, but Bolotniks is just a little tier level from it. So again,
somebody like that is good. Vosdik, I think, and with respect to you, I think if Vosdik wins that fight, he's going to want to be looking up rather than a young, hungry 100%. Guy like you, who's going to come. If he loses to a Dan Azeez, he doesn't get a Bivol fight, which is what he wants ultimately 100%. Down the line. But somebody like a Bolotniks is a good shout. Yeah,
definitely. But like I said, that's out there. Bolotniks was doing bits. Yeah, I always say people even who did he fought Josh? Yeah, I don't think Josh gets the credit because Bolotniks isn't shit. He's a good fighter.
That was a really good fight as well. That was in Eddie's back garden, wasn't it? He beat Jose Burton as well. Yeah, he was good. Exactly, I like Bolotniks. Good value, good away fighter.
Definitely, and his game, man. He's game.
Interesting. Well, if we do see Dan Azeez versus Ricardo Bolotniks, Ben, if you're watching, I want my 10% matchmaking. But Dan Azeez, real pleasure, always is to catch up with you. Let's not make it 5 years between the next interview.
No, it's because I had to work my way up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's worthy now.
He wasn't interested when I didn't have all this. No.
And he was only allowed to come in today if he brought the belts. If he didn't bring the belts, I'd have pretended not to know him. So there we go. Thanks very much for stopping by, and to you for watching us here. Thanks very much. Let us know what you want us to call it. Tebbutt Talks, Tebbutt, whatever. I don't know. Come up with something. But Dan Azeez, thanks very much. We'll catch up.
Thank you so much. Cheers.